Hello and welcome to The Takeaway with Tyra. Thank you for joining me today. Now, so that you don't miss out on any of my updates, please be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I also like hearing from you, so go ahead and like and comment. My guests are always exciting and have great things to share with us. So here we go. So hello, and thank you for joining me for another session of The Takeaway with myself, Tyra. I'm here on Vancouver Island, BC, Canada. And today I have quite a treat. I have Dr. Bill Williams joining me today, and he is going to share a presentation on O Academy, an amazing product that On Passive is going to be bringing out. Hello, Dr. Bill. Good to see you.
Thank you, Tyra. So good to be talking with my northern friend from Canada. I love the area you live in. Victoria and Vancouver Island are some of my favorite places in all of Canada.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Well, BC certainly needs prayers right now because we have been inundated with rain and highways are destroyed, and it's been quite the week.
Sorry to hear that. We have nice sunny blue skies here in Atlanta. I'll share them with you.
Yeah, send them over. Send them over. So, Bill, you've got an amazing presentation that you put together. So we are very excited to go forward and see this. So go ahead, share your screen, and let's begin.
Sure, I would enjoy doing that, sharing with your friends all around the world. We have quite a nice group of folks that follow us, and let's put on the slideshow from the beginning. We'll talk about a paradigm shift that's On Passive, and paradigm shift is amazing because it encompasses everything that's going to change about our way of life, the way we run our business, the way the internet works. I think it's going to change. This is just the beginning. We like the idea that a paradigm shift lets us all start over at the beginning, and everybody has a fair chance to win.
Indeed.
So I kind of got involved with Ash, and I got involved with Dr. Kinor Shah about the same time. About 3 years ago, I started listening to both, and I was traveling down the road of a dental educator. And I always know what's on the horizon. I always look for things to improve dental practices, marketing, teaching. Two dentists have been teaching since 1981, traveling to Canada, in Toronto, actually. My first lecture internationally was in Toronto.
Wow.
And so I've done that. And I really understand the need for excellence in education. So what Ash Mafar put forth, and I really got excited about it when I heard about it, was this Academy, his version of the e-learning platform. And his idea of putting artificial intelligence into it was a disruptive technology that other people had not put together yet. And I know the future is going to be exceptionally bright for all of us who invoke this technology early, or early adopters, as we call it.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at the reason we're going to succeed, I think it's related to Ash's vision of excellence and innovation applied to the word AI. Artificial intelligence is new technology and for most of us. And it hasn't been put into everything that we use. It's in a few things, but not everything.
Right.
Ash says, how you do anything is how you do everything.
It's an awesome saying. I love it.
So I want to follow through the checklist of what I think is important about Academy. And I know your listeners would like to kind of sink their teeth into this as an educational opportunity for them to learn, but also there's a lot of teachers, instructors out there who are looking for an opportunity to broaden their audience and increase their income. And those two things can happen.
Oh, sure. When I saw this, I was thinking about even homeschoolers would benefit from this.
That's true, because this will be the most flexible of all teaching platforms.
Very wide reaching indeed.
So how can AI be used in business was kind of the first point. Making more intelligent decisions, have smarter services, more intelligent products, more intelligent business operations. And education is truly a business. You know, if you're a teacher, you make your livelihood teaching. You make your livelihood. If you're an instructor, by having students buy your products, your programs. So everything about this, if you can make it smarter, that means you don't have to be an expert in many other areas to make your teaching work. So the AI gives somebody the ability to be independent of the system. Think about this. The system holds back a lot of people because they want to control them. And a lot of it is actually they want to make a profit off of you as being the end product creator. The middleman wants to take and make a profit off of you. And so education is a business, and education has a lot of middlemen in it. Well, with AI, we can eliminate a lot of the middlemen and let the profits go to the instructors and the teachers instead of the bureaucracy in the middle. That's a new take. Maybe people don't understand.
Right.
But it'll lower the cost of education for the end user, the student. When you can teach more people for less money, but you still make more as an instructor. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Perfectly. I'm a farmer's daughter, so I understand where the producer loses a lot of the profit due to the middleman.
And the middleman in many businesses takes home a lot more than the producer, which is the wrong way. It shouldn't be that way.
Indeed.
So this is an opportunity of a lifetime, and I really think that anyone listening should pay close attention to some of the details about how to get involved in using the Academy, because it's how you use it that could make the difference. I have a bold prediction. The majority of teaching and instruction worldwide by 2023 will be with Academy.
Love it.
Very possible, and we're going to show you hopefully why as we go through this presentation. It'll be an overwhelming success. It's a game changer. Absolutely. We're in a digital world. You know, everything is going digital away from the analog.
Mm-hmm.
That means we're stepping out of the classroom in a large part. We're staying put. We're not getting on airplanes, flying to different cities. Our meetings are taking place virtually. And it's all because of the game changer in communication technology.
Mm-hmm.
And we're leading the way in making access available all across the world, giving third world countries first world access to education.
I think that's a big one. That's a really big one. You know, rural areas and people just aren't getting the kind of education they would like to because the distance is so vast for them to travel, or the cost.
Cost of travel is huge. Think about this, the mandates. Some people are mandated they cannot travel.
True.
That's serious. If you're an educator, your students by number are cut in half. But with Academy, we'll change that. So e-learning is scalable. That means you can teach one-to-one or one-to-many, 1 to 1,000, 1 to 100,000. If you have the popularity, the product that people want, you can teach thousands or tens of thousands. And that's something that can't be done typically in a classroom. I mean, how many people teach in a stadium? Not too many, but you see a few. You'll see a few conferences where there will be 20, 30,000 people in a stadium listening to a cadre of 10 experts, right?
Right. But the cost, you know, the cost to the individual to do that compared to what you have here.
Yeah, to put on an event like that would cost tens of thousands to rent a stadium.
Indeed.
With e-learning capability, we'll have that solution to that. So we enhance people's capability to put out a good product. And, learning retention could be better if you had multiple ways for people to learn: auditory, visual, kinesthetic, all the ways people learn. You could incorporate all of them into e-learning. Whereas if you're sitting in the classroom, you may be missing out on a lot of things. So
Right.
we feel like it'll save time and money, and flexibility is the key with this online learning system.
Well, and don't you find too often in a physical classroom setting, it's kind of a one size fits all. So if you learn in different ways, it's really challenging for that person, because it's that one size fits all. So it's really hard to get to where you need to be.
What about the classroom itself? In many inner cities, particularly, it's disruptive, and your education is really hinged upon who sits next to you and the quality of the teacher in front of you. I mean, you can be the brightest student in the class and not get much done if everybody else is unruly, if the teacher doesn't really care.
Right.
So
Sure.
with the e-learning process online, you can choose any instructor, any content, and not be bothered by the class around you disrupting your ability to learn and grow.
Wow.
So, a lot of advantages.
Oh, indeed.
Some people would like to speed up their education and get it done in a year instead of 4 years. And so with online learning, you can speed up and take classes faster, more per day. You can probably even speed up the video to listen twice as fast. Depends on how, the speaker sounds. Might sound like Mickey Mouse, but same information. Might not sound like a Canadian, might. But then too, we'll get into some things about language that are going to be interesting. So the range of courses, you'll be able to choose a lot of courses. You don't have to be limited by what's offered by your local community college. You've got 1,000 courses, 10,000 courses, 100,000 courses online. You just pick the one that's just right for you, and take them any time of day. You can have them that are recorded, so you can take them at midnight if you felt like it. You could work a job during the day and take classes at night. Everything's available. And there's going to be K through graduate, doctor level courses all the way from top to bottom. So everybody's going to have an opportunity, not just high school, college, not just grade school. It's going to be everybody.
Right.
So live classes, that's probably the bulk of what's going to be on Ocademy is live classes. But I think the technique of live classes is not going to be an hour of live lecture every time. I think it's going to be more for the teacher's benefit. It's going to be an hour of recorded and 10 minutes of live answering questions, or it may be 30 minutes of recorded of the regular didactic material, and then 30 minutes of class discussion. So the teacher doesn't have to give the same course over and over and over again. They basically record the main topic, and then they have a discussion to drill home and dig deeper with the students after the lecture. And so that's one of the advantages of having a combination class where you got live and recorded put together with interaction between the teacher and the student. With
Oh, sorry, Bill.
With Ocademy, there'll be the back and forth capability of people speaking on a classroom basis. So just like being in a live class where people can talk among each other as well as to the instructor.
Right. Well, and I think too, that makes it very personable, because if it's just a recording and it's ho hum, and you would get distracted quite a bit then. But I love that it's split, and you can do interaction, you can do some live, you can do some recorded. I think that's brilliant.
Yes, it all depends on the instructor's setup, how they want it to go. they can upload their videos, the tutors, the students can access the video lectures and just go through them one by one. And then they can have a assessment period at the end to pass the exams or to do the study work, interactive work. And so an instructor will have total ability to design a class like they want. And an instructor knows what is the best way to teach their particular material. It's like a cook wouldn't just give you a list of recipes and say, here's your course.
Right.
No, you would watch them cooking. You would watch them fabricate the dish and talk about the recipe and the preparation. And that's the kind of instruction people want. And that's why the Food Channel is so popular.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
this could be the next Food Channel or automotive. You know, there's a shop my son goes to called Traffic Jams, and it's for automobile accessories to add to your automobile to make it souped up and jazzy. So he's got huge off-road tires on a Jeep, and he put on a steel bumper and took off the plastic bumper, and you know, he did a lot of extras. So you could have somebody with a business like that give classes on why would you soup up an automobile.
Wow.
And this is not about just things that you would learn like physics and chemistry and literature that you learn in high school, or sociology or history. Now, this could be life. This could be things that are outside of normal education. Ocademy can be used by any business to teach classes. As I was riding down the road, I was listening to the Home Depot advertisement, and they talked about the fact that they have online courses that you can take to learn how to build a bathroom, how to modify a kitchen, how to put on a screen porch. Well, these are just e-learning opportunities that big business has already figured out.
Indeed.
And why not use them right on Ocademy? Why not extend that kind of training where anybody could teach, a carpenter could teach a technique for home builders. This is a wide open thing, not just for school use where people think of the normal K through 12.
Well, and you're likely going to be getting into, it's kind of a twofold, because there's the earning potential end of it. So continue on. This is great.
Yeah, and you know, if I want to teach somebody in different countries, there's going to be an answer to that too, because the webpage content that we put up in English can be shown in French. It can be shown in Spanish or Russian. And so there'll be a translation ability for what a teacher puts up.
Oh, wow.
Now, that multiple language capability is going to open up education to a lot of people that don't have that ability to reach out. What about people in Uganda? I've been to Kenya 10 times. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Tanzania, but I've never been to Uganda. So I would say, what if I wanted to teach in Uganda, but I've never been there and I don't know the languages?
Right.
You know, and I know in Kenya, there are 34 different languages.
Oh, wow.
In Tanzania, there's 57. You know, how in the world could we begin to enter the classroom there? Well, with Ocademy, we'll have probably Kias Swahili, which most of Africa in that region understands.
Okay.
Not the main language in every country, but you know, that's a big one. So if I speak in English, it may speak to the people in Swahili. And if that's the case, then our education opens up into many more doors.
Wow. That is really something.
So we have a whiteboard, you know, if I'm teaching and I want to draw a concept out, and a lot of times it takes a lot of effort to create a PowerPoint presentation, but you can do a whiteboard in minutes. You don't have to think ahead. You just have your ideas in your head and you just draw them. Well, my son, when I teach with him, he doesn't like to do PowerPoints. He likes to teach off of a whiteboard. And so there's a lot of instructors who really do use a chalkboard or whiteboard. uh, as their main teaching vehicle. And so Academy is going to have that ability for you to be ad-libbing as you go, to draw things, to express yourself in the moment.
Wow.
So that's a big advantage if you don't have that ability to use a whiteboard, and it can be on your screen, not just in the room you're in, but you can make your screen a whiteboard.
Right.
That's a good point, isn't it? Yeah. You talked about distraction detection or something about knowing if the people were paying attention. Well, we have that built into Academy. There's something in the algorithm that recognizes when somebody's looking down. Maybe they're looking at their iPhone instead of looking at the screen. Maybe they're looking out the window as they used to in class back when we
Right.
had windows in schools. When they didn't have air conditioning, everybody had windows.
Yes.
I went to school when there was no air conditioning in some schools. So I know what it was like to have open windows and looking at the people outside more than the teacher on the board talking. So you can have distraction detection, and you can have the instructor be warned that patients, or rather students, are not paying attention. It's pretty interesting.
That is really something.
So we will be able to tell things about what's going on both sides of the screen. There'll be chat support. The chat bot answers a lot of questions. The more the chat bot learns by artificial intelligence, then it's going to be able to answer questions accurately. And so over time, think about the Q&As that come up in a classroom. Could you set this chat bot to work just for your classroom and start to learn? Could you teach your chat bot to answer 99% of all the questions students ask? Well, that would take a lot of the drudgery away from instruction,
Indeed.
especially the how-tos. How do you get to this place? How do you start this up? How do you run this product program? Well, all that'll be part of the plan, is having the chat bot support how to be a better functionary on passive. So it won't be a mystery to how to run this thing, because a lot of people fear the technology, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chatbots are coming. You talked about income. Teachers will be able to be creative. They'll be able to do things in a larger way, scale their ability to teach as they earn income. One of the chief ways to do that would be to build it once and then sell it forever. You build a series of courses and lectures you put together in a package, how to do this, like maybe a paint technique. And then you would put it online and sell it for 10, 20, 40, 50 bucks. And it just lives online, and it's residual income. It's like a book goes on the shelf at Barnes and Noble. People come by and buy the book. Well, with Academy, instructors and tutors can put their courses online, and people can buy them years and years later. And so there's going to be a group of courses that have no need for the instructor to show up live. There'll be recorded courses that they just purchase.
Right. Well, and the residual income that can come to that instructor, you consider yourself and some of the things you do, well, you can only be in one place at one time. So this is a real game changer also, isn't it?
It is. It is. I remember the day when I went to Canada. I got paid, I think it was $1,500 to go and teach for 2 days. And that wasn't near as much as I would produce in my dental practice, taking away 2 days. But I had fun just going to places and doing something different. And I didn't mind doing it periodically.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was, after about 5 years of doing that, going all over the United States and Canada, it got to be where it was costing me money to go away from home and from work. And so I eventually stopped doing it.
Sure.
And I was given the same course every time. Every month I would go away for 2 days and teach the same material.
Wow.
Well, if I'd put that on tape and put that out, then I would have been able to sell it for a lot less than that $1,500. And a lot more people would probably take advantage of it.
Wow. Yeah, for sure.
You know, it's just a matter of scale. You could do that if you're using a technology that allows you to expand your horizons.
Well, and
that's
that brings you into a global situation then, because as you said, you're taking time away from your practice and your family and the cost. There's only certain a distance that you would want to travel rather than taking up more and more of your time. So, wow, to be able to affect people globally with something like this is quite amazing.
Yeah, my wife has been after me to put down on an up-to-date video what I used to teach back in the 80s and 90s, because it was so revolutionary then, and it's still very revolutionary what I do in my dental practice. And she says, you know, if you just put that 2-hour lecture, that's the most important one, on video, we wouldn't have to work anymore, because that one piece of information would be purchased by thousands and thousands of people. So that's the idea. If you have some unique knowledge that you want to share, this is the ideal vehicle.
Indeed, yes.
So you can be debt-free before you finish your classes. You want to explain that, Tyra? That one's right up your alley. How does somebody become debt-free by being in on passive?
Isn't that amazing? Oh, to consider that and what you're going to receive. I mean, I have grandchildren in university, and boy, oh boy, that adds up quickly for mom and dad.
So they pay for classes quite a bit to go to college. What college pays them to go to college? Do you think very many of them do that?
That what?
Do many colleges pay for their students to go and take classes so that they're debt-free when they get done?
Let's turn it right around. The universities are there, yes, to educate, but to make money. So
Yep. They're not giving scholarships out to most of their students, right?
no, not at all.
And most of the scholarships don't cover near the cost of the entire tuition.
That's it.
So they're in debt. Now, if you joined on passive and started using the on passive products, of course, what would happen?
Well, then
As
all
a,
of a sudden,
as a
yeah,
member.
there you are receiving residual income, right?
Yeah, we have residual income as part of being in on passive, not even speaking of being an instructor on Academy, but just being able to be a founder puts you into a new category of income receiving rather than income spending.
Oh, that again, I said it before, and so many of these points are complete game changers, because I know people that came out of university in debt up to here, and it takes years and years to get that paid off. I mean, what freedom
Yeah,
to be
it's
able to
true.
come out of university and not have that debt hanging over your head. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think there's that many people with an open mind, because to me, if you explain this residual income model to most people, they should grasp it quickly and understand, but they don't. The idea that people could, as a student, go to college and be debt-free when they get done, they don't even consider that as a possibility. It's so far out beyond their imagination that they don't consider it real. And to their detriment, they're going to lose out when the founder positions are over and they have to
Indeed.
pay their debts off while the other people are cruising and sitting at the beach enjoying themselves.
Indeed. Well, I like the analogy that's been made often. You have residual bills. Why not have residual wealth or residual income? You know, it makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. The idea is the smarter people will benefit, and those who thought they were smarter than those people You know who I'm talking about. Those who go on Google and figure out that this thing must not be real when they read somebody's report that it's not real, and they go, "I'm smarter than you because I read Google and I figured it out." Well, the last laugh is going to certainly be the one who joined on passive instead of went to Google.
Yes, yes.
I see a few of those out there. Now, the summary here is that this is absolutely the best e-learning platform that's ever been created. And it'll be one of the premier products of all of On Passive when you talk about the impact on the world, because you'll be able to make a difference with the education of millions and millions of people. We have the ability to earn income through On Passive, through Academy, both. And we break down the barrier between countries, between languages, and poverty can be eliminated with education. That's one of the most true statements there is when you educate a population, they typically can pull themselves up by their own bootstraps when they have the education of how to do it.
True. Yep, that makes a world of difference indeed.
So we've got a lot of features and benefits that we know about, the multi-languages, 108 languages, live classes, one-to-one, one-to-many, the built-in payment system. So it's going to take care of everything you need. People will pay for the courses. You'll get the money. You'll have your own wallet that you can, as an instructor, take your money out, and the people can pay in, and it's not going to be difficult. It's not going to be a chore to set up a system for payment. It'll be built into the program. You'll be able to search for any kind of course you want. You'll be able to dig deep and find exactly the type course in whatever language you want. You'll be able to pick the best instructors from around the world to be your personal instructor. And the instructors themselves will upload their material. They will teach the way they want, when they want, and you can't beat that if you're an instructor and have the flexibility not to have to live in a certain town.
Mhm.
That's a big deal. A lot of people want to live in the mountains in the fresh air, or they want to live down by the sea where they can get all those negative ions flowing off the ocean breakers. It's something about water that attracts people.
Yes.
Waterfalls, lakes, rivers, beaches. And, if you really want to do it, you could live on a cruise ship and you can teach as you travel the world. My ultimate dream, Tyra, is maybe to do a round the world cruise and have the ability to do my business from the deck as I watch the people having fun on shore, and I'm just watching and seeing how the world passes by.
Wow. Well, it so affects, if a person has an education, say they're a teacher and they start applying for jobs, well, that is going to totally dictate where they're going to be able to be, right, as to where they could get their job. Now, something like you just brought up, well, oh my goodness, you could be on a cruise ship, a yacht, you could be on an island, and you could still be functioning as a teacher and building wealth through On Passive and O Academy.
Yeah, I've always heard that teachers do better when they're sitting on a beach in Aruba.
I wonder why.
They're relaxed, no stress. Can you imagine not having to get up and commute to go downtown to the university? It's an hour commute every morning for people that live where I do in Atlanta to go downtown to teach at Georgia State or Georgia Tech. What if you could eliminate that from your life, an hour in a stop and go traffic, going downtown, home, same thing? That would make your life a lot sweeter.
Oh,
And it's all about having lifestyle and enjoyment rather than fighting traffic and blaring horns and smog.
And it's time that's gone that you can't get back. You're just sitting in a vehicle.
That's true.
That wouldn't be enjoyable. Wow, this was fantastic. Hey, folks, I hope you got a lot out of this. And I just really want to encourage you, watch it again because this was packed full of information. So, Dr. Bill, in wrap up, is there anything that you want to say to sum up what you've showed us?
Summary, if you're not in, you need to be in because the benefits far outweigh $97. $97 is an entry fee to the world of Oz. You know, what's behind the curtain is so much better than what you think it is. A lot of times what's behind the curtain is a lot less for a lot of people when they get into something. Our version of Oz is a wonderful place where people have TF, total freedom, total amount of money they need, total amount of time they need to enjoy their life. And so the concept of On Passive is one that you don't have to do everything to be successful. You just have to be involved as a member. Like Ash says, you know, if you're in it, you win it. So that's the key, is just be involved and join the team. Otherwise, you'll be on the other side, which is not going to be bad if you want to be a customer, but being a founder is much better.
Right, indeed. Oh, for sure. Well, you know, anyone that hasn't heard of On Passive before, I want to encourage you when we're done here, head over to our company website, onpassive.com. You're going to see a lot of information, not only about O Academy, but a lot of our products. We've got several on the webpage that you can read about. We have a blog, a testimony page. What else do we have? We have information about our CEO, our locations. So there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to find out more. And as Dr. Bill has been saying here, for the cost of $97 to come into such an amazing company. And you have to consider that he is only touched on one product and we have 50 plus, and we're going to continue to grow as the need is there. So that is it for me and Dr. Bill on the takeaway. This was excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today.
Good to be here, Tyra, always. Thank you so much.
So see you, everyone. Stay tuned because there's going to be more to come here on the takeaway. Bye for now.